Right, my first expedition into Bugbrooke, well, for several years, because I did visit back in the day, but I came in the car, and that's a very different thing. Right, door key, yep, let's go. Got a torch. Always carry a torch in winter just in case you're delayed getting back. Shouldn't be, you know. But don't think it's a big walk. I think it's like half a mile to the shop. But I've got a sock-related foot problem, which is I'm wearing thick socks, self-inflicted, to keep my feet warm indoors, because the floor of the boat gets cold compared to anyway. But when I put shoes on, they're a bit too tight and they pinch in slightly, and so my toes get a bit sore, which hampers my walking range. Anyway, wear thinner socks, which I forgot to do. So I've got the thick socks on and my toes are getting pinched, which is not great. Anyway, that's the whinging over with, I hope. Don't know what the hell's down there. There's a business here, a paving business, which I was hoping to use as a delivery point for Waitrose. With Waitrose, you've got to nominate something specific. Like if you talk to canal people will say, oh, I'll meet you at bridge 29, you know. But Uber drivers don't speak that sort of language, so they need like a pub, they need something definite. A business premises was one I used. Look at that. Where was it? Looks like a wide open field. Normally these are guarded jealously by the landowners. You don't just allow people to just drive in. Is it common land perhaps? Who cares? Who knows? I don't care. Just slightly weird to see unguarded, wide open land. Not that common. I'm making them out to sound like greedy, kind of capitalist pigs. I'm being harsh, but it's not that common a sight. Anyway, digression, sod that. Yeah, so I visited Bugbrooke, but I visited in the car 4 years ago when I still had the car, and I was staying nearby, a few miles away at Gayton Marina, which is a nice marina, by the way. One of the lady staff members was a tad harsh with me, I felt. A tad strict. Okay, let's just have it right. Miserable. A tad miserable. I'm you know, I don't know. Anyway, but she was perfectly fair, so, you know. And anyway, I'm not naming, well, I don't know her name, but I wouldn't name it anyway, because she might watch the video. Anyway, enough. So I visited Bugbrooke a few times. I was there for about a fortnight at Gate Marina back in the day, because I'd just come off the River Nene, where I'd moved every 2 days for a while. I was moving fast, I wasn't stopping that much, and I was struggling to fit work in around the moving days, and it was a bit of a rush. So once I got onto the canals, which is what happens at Gate Marina, you come up off of the River Nene, 17 locks, by the way, nightmare. You get up there and you think, I'm going to slow down for a bit now. So I did. Anyway, slowed down for 2 weeks. So, yeah, I visited Bugbrooke a few times over those 2 weeks, collecting things. Because I was on the move previously, I couldn't really get many Amazon items delivered, as I wasn't still for long enough. So once I was still for a couple of weeks, I got loads of stuff, little things to improve the comfort and functionality around, you know, me in the boat. Better lights, curtains, neck curtains, things that just improve, what I thought anyway, improve my life. None of that is relevant, but I've already said it now, it's too late. I've already wasted your time. So, I never visited Bugbrooke on foot. I always drove in, and it was the far side of it as well. I never came in from the canal. I went past it because the canal goes past it. Obviously I wouldn't be here otherwise, Mr. Obvious, but I never walked in. I just, obviously I'd covered a couple of miles from Gayton, so I just carried on when I left Gayton. I carried on north for a while. Don't know where I stopped, but I wasn't stopping on my first day coming out of that marina. I was, you know, wanted to do some miles because I needed to get north before the locks all closed for the winter. Well, not all, I'm being, you know, but certain locks get maintained during winter, and if it's a lock flight that you're trying to get through, you might be snookered for 2 months. So anyway, this is novel. I've been to the town, but not to this part of it. Now, I looked at, normally I would have Google Maps or something open. Normally I'd be on a bike, to be honest, but I'm not doing that today. Because it looks like it's all really obvious. It looks like I can't go wrong sort of situation. Do you know something though? As I'm walking through here, I'm getting an impression of a very well-to-do village. I mean, look at this house right in front that we're approaching here. This is a traditional old cottagey style building. Beautiful construction. Look at it. It's amazing. What an amazing place. There are some less salubrious places up there. Look, see, like a sort of a council estate perhaps, I don't know. It'll be the nearest thing to chavs. We call them chavs, scallywags. It'll be the nearest thing to that live in this town, this village. But they won't be, I suspect, as bad as our industrial chavs that we see in the urban areas of Liverpool and Manchester, and indeed all the big cities, let's be honest. But yeah, look, a row of cottages here. A row of cottages here, beautiful little cottages. This looks like a more modern build, but still very tastefully done. That's £1 million house, isn't it, if ever I've seen one? And it all looks very well to do. So maybe this convenience store won't be a total dead loss. Maybe there'll be some decent stuff in here. Maybe there'll be a little section of the fridge where they do local farm produced stuff. Because this is very well to do. It's another amazing little cottage. Look at this. Absolutely amazing. Amazing's the wrong word, isn't it? Lovely. It's lovely, traditional, attractive, evocative, perhaps, architecture and so on. Amazing place. Well, again, I'm using the word amazing, I'm overusing it. It's not amazing, but it is lovely. And this is further than I thought as well, by the way. So this must be the River Ouse, right? This here is the River Great Ouse, I think. Although it seems to be flowing the wrong way. The River Great Ouse flows nearby. Oh no, it's further south, isn't it? This is just a brook, sorry. We will cross the River Great Ouse at some point. I cruised on the River Great Ouse back when I first got the boat. Absolutely. Now that wasn't, I think amazing is, again, it's too strong a word, but it was beautiful. The scenery, that landscape of the fens. I've said it before, but I thought it would be dull. I thought the fens would be like just dull, flat, not worth bothering with, you know. But it was, I was going to say amazing. It was lovely. It had its own attractiveness and charm. It was really nice. I'll tell you what though, this is more of a walk than I thought it was going to be. I'm really hoping to see the shop soon. I need to see some evidence that I've not gone wrong. As far as I could see, it was just a straight road into the village. Look, more cottages. Proper old traditional brickwork. Remarkable. That's better than amazing. And some people, the problem with me is that when I see these places, I'm all too often aware that a minority, a vocal minority of the inhabitants are not very keen on the idea of me even being here. They would kind of rather me not be around in this place. And I know that sounds controversial. And it is just a minority, by the way. Most people are very friendly and so on. But you do seem to see the odd one. Right, finally. Finally we reached the shop. There's a takeaway here which I'll be visiting. And there's a farm shop along there, up on the left, next to a pub. The farm shop's definitely on the menu. Not sure about the pub. So far I've not seen anyone on foot, apart from two people outside the house. So, here's the shop. This is the place. Very good reviews. I'm expecting great things tomorrow. They've got all sorts on here. All sorts, chicken sheesh. It's got to be a kebab. And I feel like I won't have a repetition of that food poisoning incident here. I feel like this will be safe. Anyway, let's get in and get some shopping done. Here's the place. Here we are. I think I need to cross over. I'm just on the return journey. And there's the shop, and yeah, not great, to be honest. Well, not bad, just standard sort of local shop. One or two little interesting bits, but they did sausages, which he said are from a local producer, but he didn't realise he was dealing with like a Jedi sausage master. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? But I know my sausages. No, that sounds wrong. Anyway, I looked at the label and it was 60% pork. 65, let's be fair. And that's not enough. You know. Now, a true sausage expert might shoot me down on this, but I think I'm looking for 80%, 85%, really. Depending on the sausage, you know, for a basic sausage. So yeah, they looked a bit greyish. There was a greyish brown tinge to them, which didn't, yeah. So anyway, the sausages weren't but I got some fish fingers, so I can have fish fingers and I've got bread. So fish finger sandwiches, fish finger butties or buns. So great, yeah. That's the thing about foraging, you do come up with some unusual options, and some of them aren't that nice, to be fair, but some of them are really, yeah, stuff you wouldn't normally try. Anyway, that's what we've got. So yeah, and do you know what they've got? Look at this. They've got barbed wire protecting this, what looks like a village common or something. Maybe there's rare. There's no sign saying rare animals or site of special interest or anything like that. Who knows? What there is a lovely little path alongside the river, or stream, or brook, whatever it is. Yeah, a very quiet place. Oh yeah. See now, this is a typical example of me bringing my old prejudices into my thinking about how the locals might be a bit suspicious of me. And I get it, actually, I do get it. If you're a really wealthy person living in one of these super quiet, classy little villages, and somebody rocks up on a bike with a rucksack, or on foot with a rucksack, either way looking like, you know, they clearly don't belong, not fantastically well dressed, if I'm being honest, I think you naturally get a little bit cautious. You know, who is this? What are their motives? I think it's just people being human. So I don't want to point the finger. I would probably be quite similar in terms of my reactions. So I don't want to be unfair. But anyway, the shop was disappointing, but I'm not bothered. They sell beer, so that's that problem solved. And the farm shop is there, which will reveal its true glory tomorrow. And the good thing is, this trip, this visit is short enough that even I can't justify doing it on the bike. I feel too ashamed to do it on the bike. I mean, I just put the camera away while the car went past. So it sort of forces me, being at this distance, forces me to do the walk, which is great. Because otherwise, it was a bit further, I might think, oh, you know, I'll ride it. Because sometimes the walk back with a hill or heavily laden is a pain, frankly. So this is short enough that none of those issues come into play.